Hey, what's up guys? My name is Carl Froyen, CEO and broker for Kenneth James Realty, and today we're going to kind of dive into Zillow and how ShowingTime was probably the best acquisition they could possibly make in today's market. And so I've heard a lot of internet chatter recently about Zillow and their acquisition of ShowingTime, and a lot of people are like, it doesn't really matter, and I'm going to say it absolutely matters, and it's probably one of, like I said, the best acquisition they could have made. Let's break it down a transaction individually and just show you the workflow of this thing and show you how they've actually completed the vertical integration, which should absolutely make you nervous because I think the landscape of real estate will drastically change in the next 3 to 5 years as they get better and better and better at each one of these vertical components. Let's break this down. First, what do? You need the customer acquisition, the client acquisition. They have been very, very good at this since about 2005, 2006. They've been kicking our ass, literally, in terms of SEO. They own Google, they own Bing, they own Yahoo. Matter of fact, they own 77% of the search voice. And so understanding that content is king, this is 2021. If you want to beat Zillow, by the way, which I've been doing systematically, it's going to be SEO, it's going to be content, it's going to be marketing, hyper locally, and you can actually get your nose in there as far as taking back some of that search volume. But we'll do a different video about that. Like and subscribe, dang it, if you haven't already. I give you all these tutorials. Inventory, so they need inventory. So you got the client, but they need inventory to show them. Well, here's what they've been doing here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm in Phoenix at the moment, and we do business in multiple states. In Phoenix, they've been hyper aggressive about buying properties. And a lot of you guys are like, well, they're doing it at a loss, but they're not actually doing it at a loss. So we had one of our agents actually in one of our mastermind groups yesterday talking about how they bought the house next to him. They paid $430,000 for it, and it looks like they sold it for $425,000. Not the case. So they made it, paid $430,000 for it on paper, but understand they do the very similar thing with OfferPad and Open Door are doing, where they charge convenience fees, rehab fees, or inspection item type stuff, and they beat them up, and maybe that net price is like $375,000. So understanding there's still about a 50 or 60 grand buffer there at that price point, which is a decent percentage, and then they can actually do a little bit of light rehab and then sell that product in the full retail price. And so it looks like they're losing money. I promise you, they're smarter than that. They are not losing money on this stuff. So that is called Zillow Offers. You can do that right now. You can actually go on their website if you own a property and see what they would pay for your house, and they'll give you a free quote. Same thing with OfferPad or Open Door. And they're doing very, very well in this market. And I think, somebody don't quote me on this, but somebody can fact check me on this. It's about $750 million worth of business. And that includes some of their lead acquisition stuff, some of the Premier Agent Program products. But they're doing a substantial amount of business here in the Phoenix metro market right now, literally in 2021 and 2020. So okay, we got the acquisition, we got the inventory, now you need to show that property. And so here's where ShowingTime comes into play. And this is why I think it's probably one of the best plays they could have moved in the short term at least. So let's just say they own 2,000 properties, right? And what they want to do is they want to show those properties to prospective buyers without an agent perhaps. A couple different ways to do that. You can look at the Open Door model where they have electronic access, or you could intervene and have some kind of manual intervention there where you have an agent meet them at the property. I think it's going to be the second part of it to build that relationship. That would be the smarter move on their part, in my opinion. And so ShowingTime is a tool to do that. So how do you show 2,000 homes times in this market, 20, 30 showings at a time? It could be 10,000, 20,000 showings across the spectrum of all their homes. Well, how do you coordinate that from multiple agents? They can actually farm out that showing to somebody like you or I. Well, they can do that with ShowingTime. ShowingTime is a very, very robust and proven platform to be able to do that. And so very, very strategic and smart move, and that completes the vertical integration, which we're going to talk about the rest of this here in just a second. So okay, so we got the acquisition, got the inventory, showed the property, they said, yep, I want to go ahead and make an offer. What do? Well, now they are a licensed brokerage, and they are a licensed brokerage here in Arizona, in multiple states, in Colorado, and they are a member of the National Association of Realtors and probably your local board as well. And so understanding that they have access to the MLS, they have access to the IDX feed. And a lot of you guys are like, well, we'll just cut off the feed to Zillow. Well, you can't, because they are actually a licensed brokerage and they have the same access, the same rights to the data that you or I do. It is too late, my friends. It is too late to do that. And so they are a licensed brokerage. And so now they can actually recover a lot of that fees, those commissions that we always talk about, or not talk about, I should say. Then they need mortgage and escrow and title. And so they have Zillow Home Loans. So you can go onto Google today and you can type in something like Zillow refinance, right? And you're actually going to see ads for Zillow Home Loans. They are competing right now against some of the bigger mortgage companies, and they're doing very, very well. They're very competitive, and they have probably a decent product My guess is that this is going to become much, much larger here in the future. Rates are very low. Historically, right now, this is February 2021. They're probably kicking ass, to be quite frank with you. So, title and escrow, depends on which state you're in. Sometimes they're held separately, sometimes they're held together. Here in Arizona, they're together. That is a very, very easy problem to fix. In Arizona, it's about a $500,000 or $600,000 problem to fix. It doesn't cost that much relatively to fix this escrow and title problem. And then they need the transaction management part of that. And you're like, okay, well, where does .loop come into play? Well, .loop is a very, very robust transaction management system. I personally have used it for about 5 or 6 years now. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. It's very, very good. It's very well supported. They've got a lot of good integrations. It works fantastically. The e-signatures are very easy to use. That is not an endorsement or testimonial. I'm just saying my experience with that. Since Zillow came in, they've actually been able to pump a lot of money into that system and make .loop a very, very robust transaction management system. That completes that vertical integration. Very, very, very smart. Who else got rich on these things? Rockefellers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because they understand the value of vertical integration. Also, one more comment, just kind of on a side note here. It doesn't matter what the CEO of Zillow says. Past, present, or future, the CEO is at the direction of the shareholders, and he has one job or she has one job only, and that is to maximize the value of the shareholder stake. Understanding that, the Zillow CEO did come out several years ago and said, hey, we're never going to compete with agents. It's not in his direction. It is a public company. The shareholders will tell him what to do. He works for them and not the other way around. So, okay, let's take a look at just an experience here from an experience point of view for 2 seconds. Let me say that I currently own a home and I want to trade it out for a bigger home. I just had a kid and I need to upgrade. I need to do it kind of quick. And I want to do it conveniently. So here's how this works. So let's go on Zillow. We're going to take a search and we're going to look at Denver, Colorado homes with a mountain view, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths or something like that, right? And I get a list of homes that they own. I go ahead and I can get a link sent to my phone that is like, here's your tour for the 3 homes that you've requested. And it gives you electronic access, or an agent will meet you there and guide you through the homes. And then we go ahead and, that's the ShowingTime agent, this thing, or part of this thing. Then the agencies, you literally just deal with Zillow directly. They own the home. They can negotiate with you on the purchase of your old home using Zillow offers, or we'll call it a trade-in, much like a used car trade-in. And then they say, hey, look, we're very confident. We've done a title search on your previous home. We've done your credit check through Zillow Home Loans. You're pre-qualified. You're very well qualified. We'll go ahead and move you in next week. So today is maybe, Tuesday, and they'll say, we'll move you in next Friday. You can go ahead and do your inspections, but they already have an inspection done because they own the inventory. They've done the remodel on the house. They know the house. They've already done the title abstract on it, and so they can move very, very quickly. They can literally move you in probably 10 days. They don't need an appraisal. Why? Because they know what the value is, because they own the home. So I hope you understand the setup here is it's going to be about convenience. And convenience has been something that Amazon and some of the other companies have done very, very well. Well, real estate historically has been horrible at this, absolutely horrible. I could be very, very well qualified. I still can't buy a house in less than about 21 or 25 days if we're really, really hustling. That's all the components here come together very, very quickly and easily. And so understanding that Zillow is solving massive, massive problems in the real estate industry. And you can't hate them for that, guys. You cannot hate them for that. I admire them for that. Does it mean I like Zillow? No, it doesn't mean I like Zillow. I think they said one thing and they did something different. In my book, that's kind of a no-no. But understanding that they are, this is good for the consumer. And what's good for the consumer is good for the industry. And understanding that, you're going to have to adjust and make some adjustments in your approach to your business very, very shortly. And so you're going to have to compensate for this. And I don't care here if it's here at the acquisition side or the transaction management side, whether you vertically integrate or you have partnerships that allow you to kind of vertically integrate or mimic that. And so that is my breakdown of ShowingTime. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Please take 2 seconds to like and subscribe. Throw me some comments, some good comments if you don't mind. That would always make me feel good. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Get out there, kick some ass, have a prosperous day, and I will see you very, very soon. Thanks, guys.